I need you to stay with me for the next few minutes because what I'm about to tell you is the kind of story that changes the way you see the people closest to you. Before we go deeper into this story, take a second and hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and let us know where you're watching from. I'm curious to know how far these stories travel. I unlocked the front door of our suburban home in Columbus, Ohio, carrying a bag of takeout. It was a crisp, completely unremarkable Thursday evening. Nothing felt different. But by the time I went to bed that night, everything I thought I knew about my wife of 7 years was completely gone. And what I found out next, most people can't even bring themselves to say out loud. My name is David. For nearly a decade, I believed I was living the quiet American dream with my wife, Clara. She was a dedicated pediatric nurse at the local children's hospital, or at least, that's what her uniform, her grueling 12-hour night shifts, and her exhausted, loving smiles told me every single day. We shared a mortgage, a golden retriever named Rusty, and a life built on absolute trust. I took pride in being the supportive husband who packed her midnight lunches and left coffee brewing for her morning returns. But looking back, the signs were there, cleverly camouflaged as professional dedication. Clara was fiercely protective of her phone, always keeping it face down, citing strict hospital privacy laws regarding patient data. She had a second car, a modest older sedan she claimed she bought cheaply just to keep miles off our primary SUV during her long commutes to a specialized clinic 2 hours away in Cincinnati. I never questioned it. Why would I? She was saving lives. The illusion shattered because of a misplaced garage door opener. It was a rainy Tuesday afternoon, and Clara was supposedly sleeping off a brutal shift at the Cincinnati clinic. My own car was in the shop, so I took her secondary sedan to run a quick errand to the hardware store. Rummaging through the glove compartment for the spare clicker, my hand brushed against a thick, heavy manila envelope tucked far behind the car manual. I pulled it assuming it was medical paperwork or insurance forms. Instead, my eyes locked onto a premium leather passport holder. I opened it and my breath caught in my throat. Staring back at me was Clara's face, but the name printed beneath her photo wasn't Clara Vance. It was Elena Vance. And the passport wasn't American. It was a legally issued document from a prominent European nation, packed with customs stamps spanning the last 7 years, stamps that perfectly aligned with the dates she claimed she was attending weekend nursing leadership seminars in Chicago or Denver. My heart hammered against my ribs like a trapped bird. Beneath the passport lay a deed to a luxury high-rise apartment in downtown Chicago, bought and paid for in cash under the name Elena Vance. There were also corporate financial statements for a logistics consulting firm I had never heard of, listing Elena as the sole chief executive. The woman I kissed goodbye every morning, the woman who wore faded scrubs and complained about hospital cafeteria food, was operating a high-profile corporate empire under a completely different identity. I sat in that damp, idling car for an hour, the rain drumming violently on the roof. The betrayal didn't just hurt, it entirely disoriented reality. Who was sleeping in my bed? Was our marriage just a convenient cover story for something far more dangerous? I knew that if I confronted her immediately, she could easily spin a lie or simply vanish into the wind. I needed to know the depth of the rabbit hole before I let her know I was inside it. Instead of going home, I drove straight to a private investigation firm in downtown Columbus. I handed the investigator, a sharp retired detective named Marcus, copies of the documents I'd photographed with my phone. I paid him a hefty retainer and asked him a single question: find out who my wife is. Marcus looked at the documents, then at my pale face, and gave a solemn nod. Go home, he advised. Act normal. Don't let her see a single crack in your armor. Acting normal was the hardest thing I've ever done. That evening, Clara woke up, kissed my cheek, and casually complained about a difficult patient she had allegedly cared for the night before. Watch her talk, watch her pour orange juice, knowing every word was a calculated script. It made my stomach turn. I realized then that I wasn't just married to a stranger. I was married to an incredibly talented actress. 3 days later, Marcus called me into his office. The look on his face told me everything I needed to know. He laid out a thick dossier on his desk. David, your wife isn't a nurse, he said gently. She never was. The hospital has no record of her. Her credentials are sophisticated forgeries. He pushed a photograph across the table. It showed Clara, dressed in a sharp, expensive designer suit, walking into a federal building alongside a group of foreign delegates. Before we continue, take a second and share your thoughts so far on this story below. I read every single one. Marcus explained that Clara or Elena was a high-level independent corporate cleanup specialist. She was hired by international conglomerates to quietly handle multi-million-dollar structural collapses, hostile takeovers, and sensitive liquidations. Her night shifts were actually midnight international conference calls and rapid corporate deployments. But the twist Marcus uncovered next completely paralyzed me. Clara hadn't chosen this double life to hurt me. She had established the identity of Clara, the quiet suburban nurse, 7 years ago as a literal witness protection-style sanctuary. Before meeting me, one of her high-profile corporate liquidations had inadvertently exposed a massive illicit financial network tied to a powerful, corrupt political family out of New York. They had threatened her life. To survive, she built a flawless, invisible alter ego in a quiet Ohio town where nobody would ever look for a global corporate elite. She met me, fell genuinely in love, and decided to keep the double life active. The corporate world paid the massive legal and security fees required to keep her safe and hidden, while her life with me provided the true peace and normalcy she desperately craved. She was living a paradox, working in the shadows to afford the safety of the light with me. But the illusion was crumbling fast. Marcus revealed that the corrupt family she had been hiding from had recently initiated a quiet search in the Midwest, closing in on a woman fitting her description. Her sudden increase in night shifts and trips to Cincinnati weren't just business. She was actively transferring her assets, trying to build a new firewall to protect me from the impending fallout. I drove home with my mind spinning. She wasn't an evil mastermind who wed me as a joke. She was a terrified, brilliant woman who had built a fortress of lies to keep her real life, our life, separate from a dangerous past. As I pulled into our driveway, I saw a strange black sedan parked down the street. The engine was idling. The windows were heavily tinted. Marcus's warnings echoed in my head. They are closing in. I walked into the house. Clara was in the kitchen, making dinner. The warmth of the home felt incredibly fragile. I placed the manila envelope on the kitchen island. She turned around, saw it, and the color completely drained from her face. The poised, confident corporate executive vanished, leaving only a terrified woman. "David," she whispered, her voice trembling. "I can explain. I did it to keep you safe." Before she could say another word, the front window shattered. The headlights of the strange sedan swept across our living room wall. They had tracked her. In that single, breathless second, the true weight of her double life landed squarely on my shoulders. I didn't care about the 7 years of lies anymore. I grabbed her hand, and together, we ran out the back door into the dark, leaving our old life behind forever to face an unknown future side by side. Before we go deeper, I would love to hear your point of view. Tell me what part hit you the hardest in my story, and share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this journey unfold with us tonight. If this story of hidden identities, deep betrayal, and ultimate survival moved you, please take a moment to like this video, leave your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe to our channel, Family Secrets and Revenge. Your support keeps these deep, dramatic stories alive, and we can't wait to bring you the next gripping case. Stay safe out there, and see you